How to retire early with the 4% rule. Anyone trying to save for their retirement nowadays searches on the web for ways to make this saving process much more efficient. The result that jumps in is a thing called the 4% rule. But what is this 4% rule actually, and how does it help you to save money for your retirement? In this video, I will be telling you all about the 4% rule, so stick with me. Managing your retirement savings can be a balancing act. Withdraw too much too fast and you'll run out of money. Withdraw too little and you may not get the full benefit of your savings. So that leads most to the multi-million-dollar question: how much can I safely withdraw from my retirement savings each year, which would make my savings last the whole retirement? The 4% rule might be the answer to this question, and we will have an elaborate look at this rule. What is it? As many of you might have guessed by now, the 4% rule is a rule of thumb that is used to determine how much a person should withdraw from a retirement account each year. This rule tries to provide the retired personnel a steady stream of cash while also maintaining an account balance that keeps income flowing through retirement. It is now one of the guiding principles of personal finance. Millions of Americans use it as a milestone for determining how much money they need to save for a long-lived retirement. Some history. The 4% rule was developed by financial planner William Bengen in 1994 and is based on his 1994 study. Bengen wanted to establish a safe rate of withdrawal that would give retirees confidence that they wouldn't outlive their savings. In the study, Bengen examined withdrawal rates for 30-year rolling retirement periods from 1926 to 1963. Through his research, Bengen found that people could withdraw 4% of their investments in the first year of retirement and then withdraw the same amount, adjusted for inflation, for at least 30 years without exhausting their portfolio. In many cases, the portfolios remained intact for 50 years or more. What does it say? Okay, so there's some background of this rule, but what does it actually say? As the name implies, this rule of thumb asserts that withdrawing 4% of your retirement savings each year is the best way to ensure your retirement funds won't run out before 30 years. You only adjust upward in line with inflation. Okay, so some further explanation is needed to make all those mathematical terms fit into your brain. And as I have established for the last couple of videos, I am quite an expert in explaining. So, let me be on the driving seat of this upcoming math vehicle. Firstly, let's imagine a person named Will who has retired with $1 million in his bank account. Pretty hard worker Will is, isn't he? Okay, now Will has to do some thinking about how much he will be withdrawing each year, and for that he thinks of following the 4% rule. So first he calculates, what is 4% of $1 million? $40,000, that's right. That is now the amount Will needs to withdraw the first year from his retirement account. But what if the cost of living increases? This is what is known as inflation. The rule has a solution for that problem. He will simply adjust his withdrawal amount according to the inflation rate. I know that sounds a bit techy, so let me go on and explain further. So, in the second year of Will's retirement, the inflation was 2%. How will that change the withdrawal amount? There was no inflation in the first year, so that's why we multiplied the amount with 1. But we didn't include that step as it would give us the same result. As the inflation increases, we will add the inflation rate with 1. So, 1 plus 2%. But we have to change the percentage so we can add it with 1. So, 2% equals 0.02, which gets us 1 plus 0.02 equaling 1.02. Now the inflation-adjusted withdrawal amount will be $40,000 times 1.02, equaling $40,800. Let's say your country gets financially better and the inflation rate decreased by 2%. Then what? Well, then you just subtract the percentage from 1. 1 minus 0.02 equals 0.98, making an adjusted withdrawal amount $40,000 times 0.98 equaling $39,200. In year 3, you take the prior year's allowed withdrawal and then adjust that amount for inflation. That's how you go on for the next 30 years of your retirement life. Now that that's done, you have a full understanding of how the 4% rule works. And now, I feel like a finance professor. The 4% rule assumes the retiree maintains a balanced portfolio of 50% common stocks and 50% immediate-term treasuries. Also, the research behind the 4% rule assumes a 10.3% stock return, a 5.2% bond return, and a 3% inflation rate. Depending factors. The 4% rule is dependent on two factors. The first is stock valuations. Stock valuation is the process of determining the current or projected worth of a stock at a given time. Investors can predict the future price or potential market prices to time their sales or purchase of investments. Research shows that high stock valuations should lead to lower initial withdrawal rates. Even at extremely high stock valuations, research by financial planner Michael Kitces shows that the 4% rule still holds. Next, inflation. Benjamin's latest research suggests that inflation is a more important factor for vital withdrawal rates than stock valuations. The current rate of inflation determines how much a retiree should adjust their annual withdrawals. High inflation rates force a retiree to increase their withdrawals to maintain the prior year's purchasing power. Using historical data through 2019, Benjamin suggests that even taking into account the current environment of high stock valuations and extremely low inflation, an initial withdrawal rate of 5% is justified. But is there any point where the 4% rule becomes unfollowable? Yes, there is. In a situation where there are low returns and high inflation, retirees may have to break the rule and withdraw less money. Benjamin suggests doing this whenever the current withdrawal amount exceeds the first withdrawal amount by more than 25%. The rule is simple to follow and gives you a predictable, steady income, making it pretty good to take up for retirees. If you doubt investing, here is a video link about why you should start investing early. So, that's it from me about the 4% rule as a retirement saving manager. For those new to the channel, remember to like this video and subscribe to join the Six Figures Club and follow along on the journey to wealth.